This is my koi holding tank in Phuket, Thailand. It holds around about 2,700 litres of water, including the filters. And let me just tell you how this works. We're restricted for materials and everything else in Phuket, so I've got to make it up and be quite ingenious in what we do. So here's a skimmer, and the skimmer pulls off the crap from the top of the surface, comes in through a 1.5 inch pipe. It is valved, so I can then separate the filter tank from the pond itself. Goes in through the bottom of what was a wheelie bin, and then it comes up through bio balls, and there is a Japanese mat that the pump sits on. I'll show you that in a minute. And then it gets pumped up through 1 inch pipe into a spray bar, and it gets sprayed into the first of what is just plastic drawers. A stack of plastic drawers. They all have about 100 drill holes in the bottom of each drawer, so then they simply just drop down and get filtered through the Japanese matting. So inside the first filter bay, that's where we have your pump. That's pumping around about, at the moment, about 5,000 litres an hour. Try and get it so it doesn't have so much reflection on it. So that's 5,000 litres an hour. This is just a top-up water spout, and that is connected at the bottom, and it runs all the way up to the end of the garden. Okay, now moving on to this end. This reflection's a problem again. You have an outlet that comes up and through the pond there. It goes along, it's again valved, and same again, I've got another wheelie bin, and it goes up and in through the wheelie bin up to the next filter bay, filter drawers, and then comes out through the bottom. So that basically is a filtration, and it's probably turning over the volume of the pond around about once every 15-20 minutes, something like this, at the way it's going now. And because I'm at work quite a lot of the day, I have a koi feeder, automatic koi feeder. This is set to give 8 feeds a day, and it doesn't really push out a lot, maybe half a cup of food every feed, something like this, or less. That's all controlled with this, and so what I'll do is I'll turn the air back on now, if I can find it. So the air ring comes up, and that oxygenates the water here, but if we quickly whiz round, I'll just show you what we have here. Oh, this is an ingenious thing in here. This is how UVs work. Just stuffed in the water. Of course, it's got a quartz sleeve over it, so it's there's no chance of being electrocuted or anything. Well, not yet anyway, touch wood. But the air is produced by this rather simple Renson air pump. I think it's around about 40 litres a minute. But then what I do is I split this. So here we have a T-shape, a T-piece. Half of it is going through a UV, a Yamitsu 15 watt UV, and then that then goes straight back into the pond. So that's what you can see there. So that creates my ozone. It keeps the pond quite germ-free and clear. The rest of it will come around the back and is eventually separated off and aerates each filter with filter stones. Each of the first wheelie bin filters is valved as well, so I can isolate those and drain them and clean them out every now and then. And the same with the pond itself, that's valved. So there you are. Quite cheap to do. The actual pond is meant for, here's an old ice bucket actually. It's what they use to put a lot of ice in to store their food and stuff for commercial reasons. But it's quite flimsy. So when I filled it up first time, it flopped out. So I had to create this cage to put around it, which keeps it all in shape and has not broken yet, which is fantastic. So that's it. That's the koi pond at the moment, and in the next video we'll have a look at some of the fish. I have around about 9 yearlings in here, 9 tosai that were bought from Japan, but I purchased these in Bangkok. Quite small, and they've grown quite well. They're all hiding probably around by the bubbles at the moment. So we'll have a look at those a bit later on.